Well, I'm joined now by the official spokesperson for Egypt's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Tamim Khallaf. Ambassador, the Brigadier General that you just heard from there with Kieran said that images of starvation, starving children, are fake. I just wanted to get your response to that.
Well, I think it's a textbook definition of living in a state of denial. The entire international community is seeing one thing, but Israelis are seeing something else. International organizations, including the United Nations, the World Food Program, the Office of Coordination for Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, the World Health Organization, all of the international organizations of the world have put Israel on the spotlight that there is a complete famine in Gaza. Children are indeed starving. And incidentally, I was 48 hours ago, I was actually on the border in Rafah accompanying the Egyptian foreign minister and the prime minister of Palestine in a visit. And there were thousands of trucks that were outside of the border waiting full of humanitarian supplies and medical aid that the Israelis would not allow. And the Rafah border was open, but the Israelis have sieged the other side of the terminal. They occupy the Rafah crossing, and we can't get these essentials inside for the children of Gaza.
And when you think about the takeover of Gaza City that is now underway, what are your fears for the implications of that, the number of civilian casualties, really?
This is a very, very serious escalation, and it is one that will aggravate and exacerbate the already untenable situation in Gaza. This is Israel's occupation. It will entrench Israel's occupation in Gaza. It will deepen the humanitarian crisis, and it will complicate the already existing negotiations for a ceasefire deal. And quite frankly, we question the utility and usefulness of these military incursions. The Israelis know better. They've been in Gaza before in 2005, and they were bogged down in a war of attrition. So we don't understand what exactly the Israelis are doing, and therefore we are categorically against what the Israelis are doing. This is an abhorrent attempt to try to subdue the Palestinian people in Gaza, who have already endured an unspeakable humanitarian tragedy over the course of the past 2 years.
So let's talk about those ceasefire negotiations that you and Qatar have negotiated. Hamas has said that it's accepted the deal that you've put forward. Israel earlier today says that it will begin Gaza ceasefire negotiations. Does that give you any hope?
Look, we have not received so far any official confirmation that Israel is engaged in the ceasefire proposal. Egypt and Qatar, as the mediators, have indeed offered a proposal. It is a good proposal. It is a practical one, and one that can lead to the de-escalation and end of the hostilities. It proposes a 60-day ceasefire between Hamas and Israel. And during these 60 days, we can negotiate in order to have a more durable and sustainable ceasefire at the end of the ceasefire. It will also release, the proposal is to release 10 hostages, Israeli hostages, and 18 bodies of those that have been deceased. And it will also provide the necessary humanitarian relief to the Palestinians in Gaza. We believe it's a practical proposal. It is a reasonable proposal. And this is the moment of truth for Israel. It has to, while the international community is rallying for the state of Israel to support and to accept this proposal, we see on the contrary to the collective will of the international community, we're seeing incursions in Gaza and an entrenchment of Israel's occupation inside Gaza.
And you talked about what you observed on the Rafah crossing. What do you say to those who call on Egypt, as Gaza's neighbour, to do more to put pressure on Israel to allow more aid in, and also to give sanctuary to some of the Palestinians who do want to leave? I mean, many don't want to be displaced. But what do you say to those critics of Egypt?
Kathy, I don't know of a country that has supported the Palestinian people more than my very own country and my own very government. We have stayed shoulder to shoulder with the Palestinian people since 1948, through wars and actually through peace. And we continue to stand shoulder to shoulder with the Palestinian people. 70% of the humanitarian assistance that went inside Gaza came from Egyptian people. The remaining 30% was from the international community. And when I went to Rafah, and I went to actually the warehouse where all of the medical facilities and humanitarian relief stockpiles that were there, it was shocking to see that Israelis were preventing wheelchairs from entering into Gaza. They were preventing ICU beds, intensive care unit beds for children in Gaza. It's quite a disgraceful and an abhorrent thing to see. And quite frankly, we will continue to try to support the Palestinians as much as we can. We were able to provide 1,200 trucks through the Karem Shalom crossing, but that's not enough. The dire humanitarian situation is very serious in Gaza, and we will continue to support the Palestinian people shoulder to shoulder until they get through this.
Ambassador Tamim Khallaf, thank you very much for joining us.